evening and welcome to the November 18th council meeting. If you would please stand, we have a special presentation for our flag salute this evening. I'd like to call up Chino Rotary Club Troop 201, who's led by Samuel Taylor, the senior patrol leader.
Thank you. Audience, attention. Color guard, attention. Color guard, advance. Color guard, prepare to present the colors. For those of us not in a uniform, please place your right hand over your heart. For those in uniform, salute by the numbers 1. Present the colors. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2. Color guard, regroup. Color guard, dismissed. Audience at ease.
Let's give them a hand. Thank you very much, Sandra. Okay, we have one ceremonial this evening. I'm pleased to present Proclamation November 20th, 2025 as American Cancer Society's Great American Smokeout Day in the city of Chino. I'd like to call up Michael Adams from the city of Chino, our Community Services Parks and Recreation Supervisor, Kaylee Enriquez, Chino Police Department Dare Officer. Please join me up front. Yep, up here, all the way up front. And the proclamation reads, whereas November 20th, 2025 marks the 49th anniversary of the American Cancer Society's Great American Smokeout, a campaign designed to encourage tobacco users to quit on or before that day. The City of Chino's Community Services, Parks and Recreation Department, Police Department, and Teen Center partners with the Chino Unified School District to provide programs that encourage young people to quit smoking or not start at all by promoting a healthy lifestyle and educating youth on the effects of smoking. Tobacco use is responsible for nearly 1 in 5 early deaths in the United States, which an estimated 28.8 million adults and 4.47 million middle and high school students continue to smoke cigarettes. Each day, nearly 2,000 people younger than 18 years old smoke their first cigarette, and over 30 become regular daily smokers. And whereas while tobacco product use among United States youth declined, continued efforts are needed to sustain this progress and to prevent and reduce all forms of tobacco use. The City of Chino urges all tobacco users to demonstrate to themselves and their loved ones that they can quit on or before the Great American Smokeout. Now, therefore, I, Eunice Emuloa, Mayor of the City of Chino, do hereby proclaim Thursday, November 20th as the Great American Smokeout Day in the City of Chino, and in doing so, support the American Society's mission to help create a world with less cancer and more birthdays due to less people smoking. Sir.
Good evening, Mayor Yola and members of council. I want to thank you for recognizing and supporting the Great American Smokeout. We truly appreciate the council's commitment to improving the health and well-being of our community. Your care for this cause showcases your support to this community, and the health of our residents matters. The Great American Smokeout is more than a date on the calendar. It's an important reminder that quitting smoking is possible and that no one has to do it alone. It highlights the power of a single day to take a positive step toward better health and reinforces the reducing tobacco use as a collective effort. An effort that involves families, workplaces, and community leaders. For this year, the Community Services Parks and Recreation Department is excited to host an event in partnership with the Chino Police Department. This event will take place at the Chino Experience Teen Center this Thursday from 4 to 6 p.m. There will be an opportunity for our participants to visit various community vendors, enjoy some food, raffle prizes, and to learn directly from the PD's DARE team about making healthy choices and resisting tobacco use. By supporting this proclamation, the City Council helps inspire hope and strengthens our community's ongoing work to reduce the burden of tobacco-related usage and illness. Thank you for support.
Thank you. Hi, good evening. I'm Officer Henriquez with the Chino Police Department. I am so grateful to be the DARE officer for the Chino Police Department. It's a privilege to receive the proclamation tonight on behalf of the Chino Police Department and the students in our community. I believe that the proclamation does reinforce that this isn't just a police effort, but it's also a community effort in order to help our youth and our students to make safe and responsible decisions, and healthy ones as well. So thank you for your support, and hopefully the Thursday goes well. It's going to be good.
Thank you very much, both of you, for being here.
so much.
Okay, we have to get a picture. Let's give them a hand. Prior to the council meeting, we did have closed session. I'd like to ask our attorney to provide a report out of any action that was taken.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council, and all those present. The City Council met in closed session as announced by the mayor on the two items listed on the closed session portion of the agenda, beginning with item number 1, conference with real property negotiator concerning the property at 13272 6th Street, with the negotiating party being Tannehill Langdon TR. Under negotiation are price and terms of potential acquisition. City Council received a briefing, provided direction, and no further reportable action was taken on that. Item number 2, conference with labor negotiator concerning the various employee organizations and unrepresented members listed on the agenda and previously announced. City Council received an update, provided direction, and no further reportable action was taken. That concludes the report. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. City Manager Wright, do we have any agenda additions or revisions?
Short changes, Mayor.
Okay. Within our packet, there is information, our external agency report for November 18th. I encourage you all to access and read it. It has some very valuable information. Now, next, we have an updated presentation from San Antonio Regional Hospital. I'd like to call up Brenda Nunez Gutierrez, their government affairs coordinator from San Antonio Community Hospital.
Hi, good evening. Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and City Council members. My name is Brenda Nunez Gutierrez. I'm the Government Affairs Coordinator for San Antonio Regional Hospital. We're really excited to be here today because we have a great partnership with the City of Chino and the community members here as well. We really want to come and just provide updates of what's been going on in the region, as well as new and up-and-coming projects that we have for San Antonio, and also what we're doing as far as community outreach, what we're doing out in the community. So we're really excited to be here today, and feel free to let me know if you have any questions as I move forward with the presentation. So I want to go ahead and get the bad news right out of the way first before we get into the great news, because there's a lot of great news that's going to be happening with our hospital, also out in the community. But first, we got to get this bad news out the way. So, as you may know, there's been a lot of cuts in healthcare, specifically with Medicare, Medicaid cuts that's been happening federally, and it's really been impacting our hospital, in particular maternity units. There's been a lot of closures in maternity units in the past few years in the state of California, and then most recently, it's been impacting our region. At least 56 maternity wards have closed in California since 2012, and at least 3 hospitals in the region have closed their maternity units in the past 3 years. Starting with San Dimas Community Hospital, they closed a maternity unit in 2023. Last year, we had Montclair Medical Center who closed their maternity ward as well. And earlier this month, or last month, we actually had Corona Regional Medical Center who announced closure, which will be ending the maternity unit services at the end of 2025. So starting 2026, they will no longer have their maternity services, which is very unfortunate. We're doing everything we can to try to see if we can kind of expand our resources with some of our with our medical group that we have. And we do have an update on what we're doing with maternity. That's actually exciting as far as San Antonio. But we do want to come out here to really inform the community that we serve as an alternative. So the nearest birthing centers will now be San Antonio, Pomona, and Ontario. So now I want to get a little bit into what we're doing out in the community. And I really like this slide because it really divides it into 4 different sections that we're really highlighting. That's part of our community benefit report. First one being maternal and infant care. We have different programmings for the mothers and fathers as well. As far as our Healthy Beginnings program, our follow-up clinics and our educational classes that are for moms and dads, because dads also need that care as well. When it comes to after the baby, or also learning about how to become first-time parents. Then we have what we're doing as far as mental and behavioral health with our different mental health fairs, Narcan distribution education that we do in the community, and different wellness programs that we offer as well. Then we also have community health screenings, and then other programming that we're doing for the youth, which we'll get a little bit into, which has to deal with our Super Science Days, young healthcare professionals, and our clinical shadowing program, which is a big fan favorite. Now I want to dive a little bit about who we are and what our programming kind of consists of. We have, at San Antonio, we have our Healthy Communities Institute, which is a great department that we have that was founded by Randall Lewis. So for those who are not familiar with Randall Lewis is a great guy. He's a very known founder, local community visionary, innovator, and philanthropist in the region. And his vision was really to pave a stronger pathway into the healthcare workforce, more particularly targeting the youth. So we developed different innovative programs in partnership with our hospital that goes out into the schools and the community that provides different education for our youth that will hopefully help pursue their healthcare related careers. So you'll see a little bit about that in the following slides as well. We also offer different workshops for our more aging population as well, called Generations Ahead. Our workshops are more focused on nutrition education for the community, where we provide registered dietitians or nutritionists on site that really help provide different cooking interactive demos, provide free groceries and cooking supplies, and more so just talk about and educate the community on different effective ways on how to increase nutrients into their lifestyle, because eating healthy doesn't always have to taste bad, right? So I think this is a great workshop that we have that really brings the community together, because what way to bring the community together than food, right? Whenever you're at a dinner, you have the best time. Whenever you're at Thanksgiving or Christmas, so I think food is really the best way to get everyone together, and we really have great feedback from the community with this one. They're really able to engage with everyone, especially after COVID. It's been a really popular workshop that we've had, and really just engaging and talking to everyone and learning how they can still eat really healthy, but still have it taste really good. So now jumping back into some of our youth programs that we offer. These are the 4 different youth programs that we have that are under that branch of our Healthy Communities Institute, which we have Super Science Days, inspiring elementary school kids to explore different STEM and healthcare careers through hands-on experiments that are done by our team. Then we also have our clinical shadowing program. I'll get a little bit more deeper into our next slide. We have our Young Healthcare Professionals program, which explores and engages high school students into exploring clinical and non-clinical healthcare careers. And then we have our healthcare wellness program, which provides our college interns that we actually have on site that provide this hands-on health education with our high school students. All right, so as far as the clinical shadowing program, this one is a great program that we have that is tailored towards our high school students. So if our high school students, the requirements is they have to be a junior in high school, and each student is assigned different rotations when they are on site. So there's different rotations that we have as far as they get to shadow maternity, nutrition services, oncology, pharmacy, physical therapy, radiology, respiratory therapy, social services, surgical services, telemetry, and our urgent cares. So we have 3 different urgent cares, Rancho, Fontana, and Eastville, which they're able to shadow in. This is a great experience that the students have. This program is open to all students in San Bernardino County, but we do have limited spots. I believe there's 50 slots that are available during this time. We're trying to see if we can expand that even more. But that's currently what we have at the moment. Hopefully in the next upcoming year, we can expand it to be larger. It's only open during the summer, so the students are able to be there on site for 2 weeks. It's a 2 weeks program where they're able to be there, when they're not in school, and really engage with with our healthcare professionals and see what's it really like, a day in the life of being, either a surgeon, a nurse, anything like that. So it really helps explore their thoughts and career into healthcare. I really wish, I love this program because I really wish I had something like that when I was in high school. I think most students or most individuals aren't able to get this experience unless you're already in a program, and then you see it. You see these shadowing when you're like in clinicals, when you're like a nurse or a radiologist and stuff like that. So I think this is perfect because it really helps explore your different mindsets in the career pathways before you really make that decision. So this is a great program, and once we get closer to the deadline on when to apply, we'll go ahead and bring it out to the community and maybe make another presentation so that way everyone knows when they can apply and different resources that we can provide to be able to get into our program. As far as our programming, here's a map of some of the areas we've been in as far as schools. I won't dive too deep into it for sake of time. And here's where we've been. Here's everyone we've touched in the region. So in Chino, we've touched 700 individuals, which is great, and that's only been in the past year. We hope to continue expanding that number, and this has been through some of our outreach, through some of our community fairs, through some of our screenings, and then just as far as the schoolings as well, and then some of the students that have been in our clinical shadowing program as well. And as far as education, we go out into the community. We also do provide education on Narcan. So we've distributed over 713 boxes of Narcan in the past year. Narcan is also available at any of our urgent cares for free. So you could just go up into the counter if you ever need a Narcan or just want to have one, keep one handy. We do give it out for free at any of our locations. For our health screenings that we've done, we've conducted a few different screenings in the past year, which do take some of like your blood pressure, A1C, and different types of testing that we have as well, depending on our availability. So we've had a few in the past year. We had some out in Ontario, Rancho, Upland, Fontana, Montclair, and Chino. And total participants that we've had screened is 305. And here's the zip codes and the different locations we were at. Here are some of our great community partners. Healthy Chino is on there, so we love working with Healthy Chino. And I want to talk about some of the great things now. I mean, we talked a lot. I gave a lot of information, but here's one of our amazing projects that's happening. I talked a little about what the crisis we're having, the maternity crisis that's happening in the area. Well, San Antonio is actually building a new maternity unit. I really wanted to put the video on here, but it was too large of a file, so I couldn't put the video. But here's a little bit of a rendering of what we have as far as a new maternity unit. So our new maternity unit is going to consist of 8 private labor and delivery rooms, 2 new OR rooms, 14 beds for NICUs, and then we're going to have a 24-hour on-site laborist, and then 20 postpartum patient rooms. So they all look amazing. They look great. We're so excited for this new maternity unit to come out. We're estimating, we don't have a deadline. We don't have an opening date yet, but we're estimating sometime between 2027, hopefully early 2027. And hopefully this will help replace the current maternity unit we have and also help with some of the maternity crisis that's happening around in the area. We also are excited to announce our new behavior health urgent care clinic that just opened up today. This urgent care clinic, behavioral health urgent care clinic, opened up today and is located in Ontario. So our urgent care plus goes beyond our traditional urgent care by providing access to mental and behavioral health support when it matters the most. So whether you or a loved one are struggling with anxiety, low moods, or in need of a brief counseling, our team of professionals are here to listen and guide you and provide the care when you need it. So this is just for very moderate needs. If it's urgent, then we would refer you back to our ED. But as far as having the access there, if you go to our urgent care, then we'll just refer you over next door to our behavioral health urgent care. Another big project we've been working on is our Center of Aging. So we did mention this the last time we were here. We're opening up a Center of Aging, which is going to be our our one-stop shop for our aging population. So we are going to have a variety of different specialists that are going to be here that are going to be tailored towards our agent population, such as audiology, cardiology, and all different specialists you can think of. We're also going to have an audio visual media room here, which will be able to have more community lectures and have more community engagement, such as our Generation Aheads program here. So we're really excited to open this up to the community. So here's another bit of a rendering that we have. So here's our planned services that we have and our specialists. So we're going to have primary care physicians, orthopedic surgeons, cardiologists, podiatrists, and audiologists here. And we're really excited to keep, sharing all the new stuff that we have going on. We're really excited to continue to keep expanding. Hopefully, we can expand into the Chino area in the future. So yeah, we will continue to provide updates as we continue to progress, and I'll take any questions.
Any questions for Brenda? Awesome. Thank you very much for all the information.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next on our agenda is public announcements, Gobbler Gloves Boxing Showcase. First, I invite you to watch the best boxers in the region leave it all in the ring at the annual Gobbler Gloves Boxing Showcase happening on Sunday, November 23rd at the Neighborhood Activity Center located at 5201 D Street. Watch Chino's finest amateur boxers compete against boxing clubs from around Southern California. Admission is free for kids ages 5 and under, $15 for kids ages 6 to 11, and $25 for kids and adults ages 12 and above. For more information, please visit cityofchino.org/CSPR or call 909-334-3260. Next, the Chino Cares Challenge. Next, as we enter the season of giving, I invite you to take the Chino Cares Challenge. The Chino Cares Challenge is a community-wide effort that helps Chino families in need by collecting food as well as grocery and fast food gift cards. You can participate by dropping off grocery and fast food gift cards at the Carolyn Owens Community Center and the Hope Family Resource Center. While food can be dropped off at the Chino Neighborhood House and Food for Life Ministry. Give the gift of food security this holiday season. For more information about the Chino Cares Challenge, please visit cityofchino.org/CCC. And next, for holiday closures, please note that the city facilities will be closed on November 27th and 28th in recognition of the Thanksgiving holiday. And finally, for holiday events, we are weeks away from officially kicking off the Christmas season. First, join us on Saturday, December 6th at 4 p.m. for our annual tree lighting ceremony, where we'll transform the Chino City Hall lawn into a magical Santa's workshop featuring Christmas carolers, food vendors, a train ride, and an opportunity to meet jolly old Saint Nick himself. Don't forget your cameras because we'll be lighting our massive Christmas tree at 6 p.m. to ring in the holiday season. And of course, mark your calendars for our annual Chino Youth Christmas Parade and Fair on Saturday, December 13th. This longtime Chino tradition features local schools, bands, and community groups parading down Riverside Drive and Central Avenue to the Chino City Hall lawn, ending with a festive, family-friendly holiday carnival perfect for children of all ages. You can learn more about these events and more by visiting cityofchino.org/events. Next, our agenda is public communication. This is the time for the general public to address the council on items that do not appear elsewhere. We cannot address anything that is not on the agenda, but we're happy to hear your concerns or your comments. We do have a maximum time period of 5 minutes per speaker, and we ask that you respect that. Our first request to speak is Pastor Kayland Unterkoffler from Cross Point Church. She's going to lead us in an invocation. If you'd like to join us, please stand.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight with hearts seeking your guidance. Your word reminds us in Psalm 127:1, unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain. Lord, we ask you would be the one who guides and establishes the work done here in the city of Chino. May every discussion and decision made tonight rest on a foundation of your wisdom and truth. We lift up our mayor, Eunice Uloa. We lift up Mayor Pro Tem Curtis Burton and our council members, Christopher Flores, Mark Lucio, and Karen Comstock, and all who serve this wonderful city. Grant them discernment, humility, and clarity. Help them to pursue what is just, what is good, and what brings peace to our community. Give them courage to do what is right and compassion for every person who calls this city home. Lord, we thank you for the blessings you have given Chino, its families, businesses, schools, and those who protect and care for us each day, including every man and woman in this room tonight. Bring peace to our streets, strengthen our families, and bring hope to those who are struggling. Strengthen our first responders, encourage our educators, uphold our leaders, and bring comfort and hope. Protect those who serve our community and bless all who seek to make Chino a safer, kinder, and stronger place to work and live. As this meeting continues, may your presence fill this room, and let this meeting be conducted with respect, humility, and a shared desire to do what is right. We ask all these things in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Caitlin.
Thank you.
Next request to speak is Bella Borges.
Hi, Council. I just want to introduce myself to you because not every average middle school student has their city council sitting right in front of them. My name is Bella Barajas. I currently attend Allegiance STEAM Academy, and I currently hold a 4.0 GPA, and I'm also in leadership. This is my 4th year carrying that GPA. I am active in many sports such as volleyball, softball, and the wonderful boxing club held at the NAC. I have high hopes of going to Bosco Tech and then going to a college to get into politics. The question is, what can I do now to be successful in community leadership as I get older?
Just come to council meetings, do some volunteer work, and stay active.
Thank you.
You're
Maybe
welcome.
also join TAC.
Yeah.
Yep. There's our Director of Community Services, Park and Recreation is here, and she'll give you information about the Teen Advisory Committee.
Okay.
And I think
you.
I would add, put the Lord first in everything you do.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here, Bella. Let's give her a hand. Okay, next. Oh, your handwriting is difficult to read. Ayman Sal. You're going to have to say it for me.
Yeah, I scribbled that very quickly.
Imam.
To begin with, thank you, first of all, the council, for giving us the opportunity. I am the new imam from the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, from the mosque down at Ramona in Philadelphia. For those of you who don't know what is the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, it is an international revival movement within Islam founded in 1889 by Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, who believed that he was the Mahdi and the Messiah of the latter days. The Ahmadiyya Muslim community is known for emphasizing peace, tolerance, justice, and universal brotherhood. The community is spread across more than 200 countries around the world and is united under a single spiritual leader called the Caliph, His Holiness Mirza Masroor Ahmad. The Ahmadi Muslims are also known for their humanitarian work, including disaster relief through charities like Humanity First. The community emphasizes the essential teachings of Islam, such as peace, love, justice, and universal brotherhood. We believe, again, we reject all forms of terrorism, and at the same time, we believe in the separation of mosque and state. Our motto is love for all, hatred for none. And to celebrate this yearly convention, which we will be celebrating on December 27th, 5:30 p.m. And we encourage all the dignitaries, public servants, and council themselves to, if you are available, would love to have you visit us and join us in the time of sharing and celebrating and remembering what community service is all about. And, in Islam, we are taught that there are rights of God and rights of man. There comes a time that God will forgive his rights, but he will never forgive us for when we neglect the rights of mankind. So therefore, we strive on daily basis to serve the local community, especially down here in Chino. I'm very excited to work with everyone and open our doors for the community. And I have brought some invitations for each and every one of us. So everyone is welcome to come and attend the convention. Estamos aquí para servirle. Gracias. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Ray Morales.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, staff. I'm here on behalf of the Chino Boxing Foundation. Two things. First, Mayor, you already covered it. I was here to promote our gobblers. Council Burton, I know you've been promoting it too, so I just hope that all the community come out and enjoy themselves. You will not be disappointed, trust me. You will not be disappointed with the group of boxers that will be competing that day. Secondly, most importantly, I'm here on behalf of the foundation to thank all council members, especially the chief of police and the fire chief, for the outstanding job that everybody, every single person, including the city staff, did on our Saturday night fights. It was very successful, and we're looking forward for next year, even bigger and better. And we just want to thank you guys. Ted Olin and I believe it was Joe Hernandez? Officer Joe Hernandez? McCardle, yeah, I don't know. Oh, that was Ted, he told me Hernandez. Anyways, we want to thank you guys from the bottom of our heart. And council people, the staff at the NAC, second to none. Okay, so we need to put it out there. I know a lot of times they get lost in the shuffle, but I don't think they were lost in the shuffle this time. And lastly, I just ask the everybody to keep Mark in our prayers. Thank you.
Being here. Saturday night fights were a lot of fun. A lot of fun. It's going to be interesting to see what the next challenge is going to be, since we can't get our two chiefs to spar in the ring. Doggone it. Keep throwing that out, though. Maybe shadow boxing, I don't know.
I think thumb wrestle.
Thumb wrestle? Arm wrestle. Okay, our next request to speak is Mr. Bobnick.
Good evening. Again, I thought my time here was going to be over, but unfortunately, my tongue is not as quick as my brain, so please forgive me. I'm disappointed in the actions and inactions of this city council. 1 month ago, Stubby Bard came before the city council citing a recent appellate court decision in Redondo Beach that could jeopardize our housing element as being unlawful. It is requested that staff opinions be presented in a public meeting as soon as possible. Should our housing element be deemed to be unlawful, it will open up the city to the builder's remedy. I don't have time to go over the effects of the builder's remedy, but it will be disastrous for the city. It is requested the council set an immediate date when the opinions of the staff can be discussed and open in regards to his comments. Over the objections of its citizens, this council voted to approve the Orbitz Eden development. The city is allowing 264 residential units be built on only 5 acres, having a density of over 52 units per acre, a monstrous storage facility that was not allowed on the property in prior zoning, and hideous 4-story buildings up to 55-foot tall. In return for this development that will destroy the neighborhoods in East Chino, the developer will be required to build only 24 low-income units. These 24 low-income units will not be adequate to meet the affordable housing mandated by the state. This was not the intent of the citizens when voting for Measure Y. Was the enactment of our housing element based upon flawed and incompetent logic, or were the citizens deceived in voting for Measure Y? On December 26, 24, a letter from HCD approving our housing element stated the city must continue timely and effective implementation of all programs, including the following. Program Action 3B, establish an affordable housing overlay, 3C, mixed overlay, and 3M, development of large sites. That letter advised that HCD may revoke housing element compliance if the local government actions do not comply with state law. I asked the council to review pages 4-11 to 4-13 and 4-19 of the housing element and explain to the citizens in detail how the city is in compliance to its obligations as cited by the HCD to meet its regional housing needs allocation, RHNA. A review of the Redondo Beach case and another appellant case in Martinez versus City of Clovis, the courts ruled that local governments must have a realistic development capacity and have an inventory of land that can reasonably accommodate the development of their share of the RHNA. A truthful analysis of our housing element will determine the city has serious fatal flaws in our ability to meet the RHNA obligation of 3,397 low or very low income units. Simple math will prove the city will not achieve this obligation. There are 91 overlay sites in our housing element, totaling approximately 229 acres. The mandated minimum density in our zoning code is 26 units per acre with a 9% low-income inclusion that will result in a total of only 536 low-income units. Even if the maximum density of 30 units per acre at 13% low income is built in every one of the 91 overlay sites, this will only total about 893 low-income units. A shortage of up to 2,500 to 2,860 low-income units exists. HCD could easily void our housing element. It is requested that this city take immediate action to ensure our housing element will not be held invalid and that the city will meet our RHNA obligations. The city council should not bury its head in the sand and hope this will go away. The HCD will become aware of the probable deficiencies in the failure of our city to meet its RHNA obligation. It is understood that the state cannot require that the units be actually built, only that the local government has identified sufficient land and inclusion requirements so that the RHNA of 3,397 units can be realistically met. A legal argument can be clearly made that Chino has failed to have a housing element that will satisfy its RHNA obligation under state law. The city has not listened to its citizens. Maybe it will be forced to listen to HCD. It is recommended the City Council take immediate action that will implement a zoning plan before HCD determines the current housing element could be revoked.
Bob, you are out of time. I'm going to ask you to wrap it up, please.
Okay, it's just going to, by having a revised housing element in place before the current one is revoked, will minimize the chance of the city falling under the builder's remedy. If you have any questions, I'll be happy. I had another half page with 30 seconds. You don't want to hear that. Okay.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you very much. Fred, I am going to ask you to address the current challenge right now, please.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. The issue that was raised is pertaining to the new commune DTLA versus City of Redondo Beach case that came out about, I would say, about a month ago. The court in that case essentially found problems with the City of Redondo Beach's overlay that was used to meet their housing element. That city was challenged within the timeline authorized under California law. The City of Redondo Beach did what over 250 jurisdictions in the state did, which is rely on HCD guidance that authorized the use of overlay zoning as a method to comply with the housing element law, to provide all of these extra regional housing needs assessment units, RENA units, within the jurisdiction. So Chino's in the same situation as over 250 jurisdictions. The City of Redondo Beach is appealing that decision to the California Supreme Court. So taking any action before there is a final resolution of that matter would not be appropriate. There's not been any challenge within the timeline to do so against the City of Chino's housing element, unlike Redondo Beach's. Importantly, and I think surprisingly, HCD has been silent on the issue. The case basically rejected HCD's posted guideline that I understand is still on their website that authorizes the use of overlays for this purpose. We have the City of Chino, in fact, hasn't approved any project that is inconsistent with the zoning that's authorized in the overlay. What the Redondo Beach opinion basically concluded was there is an opportunity for owners of sites that are within an overlay to build using the underlying zoning and ignore the overlay zone that provides for higher density or housing where the underlying zone does not. So the court believed that it should have been mandated, and so cities should strip property owners of their authority to build per their current zoning and mandate what Chino and all of these jurisdictions put as an optional authority to build their property to meet the housing obligations. Chino's approved several projects, all that have within those areas that are covered by the overlay. They all rely on the zoning and the overlay. So none of those projects took advantage of the underlying zoning. So it's not appropriate to really reference any particular project, but I could say that every project you've received, including those that have come up to the council, have complied with the overlay zoning. And those mandate the minimum density and housing obligations that are required under the housing element law. I think a question could have been raised if a project ignored that and built per the underlying zoning, and there was some challenge within the timeline. All of those timelines are passed for the City of Chino. I think it's important to also emphasize that there's nothing in that Redondo Beach opinion that has a broad holding that says any city that use these overlay zones, your housing element is automatically void, or this opinion sort of retroactively voids all of those approvals. There are vested rights that property owners gain after they make an application in good faith reliance on the state of the law, the state of the codes that existed at the time they submitted the application. And that's what exists for all of the projects that came before the City of Chino, whether it's the Planning Commission or even up to the council on appeal. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions or need anything clarified? Thank you very much, Fred. Okay, those are all the written requests to speak that I have. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to address the council on any item that is not on the agenda? Yes, sir.
very simple question. My name is Mike Gutierrez. I heard that we're going to be getting a new a city hall. So I was wondering if you could give us more details of the planning, sites, and maybe funding.
Well, right now, we have a master plan that we did on the whole civic center, and that's what it is right now, is a master plan. We don't have any firm ways to move forward yet. So it is a master plan that we hope to someday implement.
Okay. So it's in the future, nothing solid right now.
Not right now.
Okay. Fine. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other any other non-written requests to speak? Okay, we have a tradition here, and that is we invite students in the audience or scouts that are working on perhaps Eagle rank or anything like that to please come up to the lectern, give us your name, your school, your grade, and the class that you're working on. So I know we have some students in the audience. Come on out. Come on, we have some scouts. I've been told you guys are working on stuff. We have officers in the audience that can help you come up if you like. Come on up. Too shy, too shy. Okay. You're going to lose out on your opportunity to get credit. There you come. Here we go.
Good morning, Council and Mayor. My name is Philly Olazabal. I'm go to school in Chino Hills, Ayala. I'm working on my Eagle Merit Badge that's required to get your Eagle Scout, and it's called Citizenship and Community.
Very good. What troop are you in?
Troop 201.
Oh, very good. Well, thank you for being here this evening.
Hello, I'm Donald Lee. I'm also part of Troop 201, and I'm also working on the Citizenship in the Community Merit Badge, like Philly. And I currently attend Suzanne Middle School in Walnut.
Well, thank you very much for being here this evening.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm James Ramirez, and I attend Calero Preserve Academy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm part of Troop 2012, and I'm in 8th grade.
Well, thank you.
Currently, I'm working on the Citizenship in the Community Merit Badge, like they said. And this is the city council. Attending a city council meeting was one of the requirements in order to complete it.
Well, now you're officially on TV, so everybody knows that you're here. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
Takes a bit to get them up here, but once they're here, they're okay. Anyone else? Okay, thank you very much. Then we will move on to our consent calendar. I'm going to pull item number 2 because I missed the last meeting. Do any council members wish to have any other items pulled? Okay, then I would entertain a motion and a second for the balance of the consent calendar. We have a motion from Mayor Pro Tem Burton, second from Councilmember Comstock. Please vote. And the balance passes unanimously. Item number 2 are the minutes from the November 4th meeting. I need a motion and a second, please. I think you have to clear it, Natalie. There you go. Okay, we have no. We need a motion and a second first. Okay, there's a motion from Councilman or Mayor Pro Tem Burton, second from Councilman Flores. Please vote. Chris, you have to vote. Okay, the item passes 4 yes with 1 abstention, which is mine. Next, under new business, we have item number 13, approve a memorandum of understanding with the County of San Bernardino for the operation of the West End Navigation Center. Staff report this evening will be provided by Sylvia Avalos, our Director of Community Services, Parks and Recreation.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and council members. Homelessness continues to create significant public health, safety, and financial challenges across the West End. The City of Chino, in partnership with the San Bernardino County and the cities of Chino Hills, Fontana, Montclair, Ontario, Rancho Cucamonga, Rialto, and Upland, accounts for more than 550 unsheltered individuals, demonstrating the need for a regional approach. To address this need, the county and participating cities are jointly developing the West End Navigation Center as a coordinated regional solution. The facility will be located in the city of Fontana and will serve as a comprehensive one-stop hub for homeless services, providing wraparound care and a structured pathway from crisis to stability. This regional project represents a unified, compassionate, and efficient approach to addressing homelessness. It connects individuals to housing, healthcare, behavioral health, and workforce development resources under the one roof while reducing strain on local law enforcement, emergency services, and city resources. The center includes a 200-bed capacity, 100 emergency shelter beds, and 100 recovery care beds. The facility will open 24 hours, 7 days a week, with professional management and county oversight. On-site services include a sobering center, medical care coordination, intensive care management, employment services, and behavioral health services. A commercial kitchen serving up to 600 meals daily. It will be a referral-only admission by the participating cities, and no walk-ins will be allowed. The center is projected to open in January of 2026.
The county and all the cities that have been involved in working on this for quite some time. The county has invested a total of $25 million for the center. $20 million was allocated for obtaining the building and for construction costs, with another $5 million dedicated for the reserves for the first year of operation. The annual operating costs are projected to be about $3 million, and the city's contribution is about $200,000 per year. Contributions will be reviewed after the second year and will be adjusted based upon our point-in-time count and audited usage and available grant funds. So how does this benefit the city of Chino? So there's several points that I'll cover. For Chino residents, it will ensure access to regional services that are not always available to individuals with ongoing long-term needs who require 24/7 care for rehabilitation. It will provide comprehensive wraparound care that expands Chino's homeless outreach capacity. It will help in reducing local encampments and repeat calls for service for police, fire, and our community services. It provides a regional cost sharing, which will lower Chino's financial burden. And this center supports Chino's quality of life and community outreach goals through accountability, compassion, and proactive engagement.
At this time, we ask for your approval for the Memorandum of Understanding between the City of Chino, the County of San Bernardino, and participating cities, and approve the City of Chino's share $200,000 for each of the first 2 years for the joint operation of the West End Navigation Center, and authorize the city manager to execute all necessary documents on behalf of the city. This concludes our report. We will be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, Mayor Pro Tem Burton.
Captain Crowley, can you explain what the process would be if you make contact with a homeless individual out there and you're able to get them up to that facility in Fontana? What's the process?
So our personnel, whether it's from the police department or from community services, once they make contact with an individual who has the needs, obviously the center is going to provide a lot of different care needs for individuals, not just one specific. They have to have an ID. They have to be referred to the center. We would actually take them to the center and help them through the onboarding process or the intake process. And then once there, then the county would actually be running the program.
So at 3 o'clock in the morning, if you're making contact and they have a desire, they want to go to the facility, you would actually take them up there at that time?
Yes, sir.
One of our police officers?
Yes, sir.
Take them up there?
They're still working on how that's going to work, obviously, since the center is not open yet. So they're still working through time and intake and what have you, but it's our understanding that at any time, we'll be able to take them up there.
And then, and I might have missed it, is there going to be a medical staff on site 24/7 as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Karen, do you have any questions?
I just want to make a comment. I think this is a resource that's actually been absent in San Bernardino County for quite some time. This council, along with other city leaders, have tried to figure out whether or not they should go this alone or different avenues. And Mayor, I want to thank you as well as other mayors when I had the opportunity to go through to the Mayor's Roundtable. I also wanted to thank our county supervisor and the county board of supervisors for taking the lead. This is really something long overdue for our community. And regardless of where you fall on this issue, whether you do or don't want it in your community or where it's at, or some of the logistics that go around this, absent services like this, wraparound services and bed space availability to treat people, to try and get them out of the perpetual cycle of homelessness, it's really challenging. And I know both of you in your disciplines can attest to that. But Mayor, I just want to thank our staff for working on this. I'm really happy to see it coming to fruition. It's been, again, something I think also that was taken the lead by you, Mayor, and other mayors in this community roundtable, so thank you very much.
Mark? Yeah, Karen, you mentioned the roundtable. We have a group called the West End Mayor's Roundtable, and we meet every couple of months or so, and this has been a subject for a couple of years, trying to figure out how in the world we can all work together to help our homeless population. Obviously, each city cannot afford a center like this. It's going to be very expensive, as you've heard. I want to thank the city of Fontana for moving forward with actually acquiring the facility and building it out, and then the county will purchase it from them. But it's been a good partnership with all of our West End cities in the county, and I think we've come up with a really, really good solution.
I think our model mayor hopefully is going to be the envy of many other counties. So,
well, that's what we're hoping also. This has been patterned after some other intake facilities that we visited, and I think it's going to be very, very nice. We also, as you know, are facing a possible influx of homeless when it comes to the Olympics that are coming. Our fear is that Los Angeles County will push their homeless out to get them away from where the Olympics are going to be held. So we need to be ready and prepared to handle any influx that we may get temporarily or permanently. The other thing that really is good is I'll call them patients that are intook into this facility are going to be re-released back where they came from. So these people will not be dumped in one community. If someone comes from Chino, they will return to Chino. If someone has been taken in from Upland, they will return to Upland. They won't be dumped on any other community. And that was very important to all of our mayors as well.
hopefully, Mayor, from there we can get them into some transitional housing. But yeah, I think that is the goal. But you're correct, to rightfully restore these people to where the communities they came from.
That's going to be the next challenge that each city has, is that we do have to provide our own housing as well. That this will at least hopefully get people off of drugs, off of alcohol, get the mentally affected people with some help that they desperately need, and get them on the right track. Okay, and with that, I would encourage a motion and a second. We have a motion from Mayor Pro Tem Burton, second from Councilmember Flores. Please vote. Item passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Oh, I failed to ask if there was anyone in the audience that wanted to address this item. Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to item number 14, issuance of bonds for Community Facilities District 2003-3, Improvement Area 11. Staff report this evening will be provided by our Director of Finance, Kim Sao, and our Director of Urban Futures Incorporated, John White.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. The item before you tonight concerns the proposed issuance of special tax bonds for Improvement Area Number 11 within the Community Facilities District Number 2003-3. This action will authorize the financing for public infrastructure improvements that will support the planned developments within the Improvement Area Number 11. John White, Municipal Advisor from Urban Futures, will present the item. And also present in the audience is Heidi Shepe, our Special Tax Consultant from Webb Municipal Finance, who will be also available to answer any questions related to this item. John.
Great. Thank you very much. Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and City Council members. Last time we met, it was July 15th. We were talking about many things, including CFD number 2022-1 Fallon Crest. Tonight, we'll be talking about a different issue, which is CFD 2003-3 Improvement Area 11, but the PowerPoint and the action you're ultimately taking, which is to pass a resolution of intention, is very much about Fallon Crest. I know you're good students, but you may have a question or two, so please jump in, whether at the end or during the presentation, for any clarification you may need. So 2003-3 Improvement Area Number 11, the district itself was formed in November 5th of 2024. It's part of the Preserve Specific Plan, and the bond proceeds are used to finance the acquisition or construction of various public improvements. There's more detail later on that we'll go into. The district is a pay-go district. You may have recalled this issue come up when we did the refinancing. These bond proceeds are used to, as we said, used to finance these acquisition or construction of improvements. Oftentimes, the developer will advance them and then they seek reimbursement. Pursuant to an acquisition agreement, the developer is eligible oftentimes to receive full reimbursement, or the reimbursement is not satisfied by the issuance of the bonds itself. So after you sell the bonds and you pass that money on to the developer, there's still eligible facilities that the developer is eligible for reimbursement. That's called a pay-go district. So we wanted to remind, and in the PFA refinancing, there was 4 districts, and I think 2 of them were pay-go and 2 of them were not. This is a pay-go district. Any questions on that concept? It's spelled out in the acquisition agreement. When you approved the development, you wanted all these lovely improvements, and it obviously is represented by the quality of the communities. And so this is one of those districts. The master developer is Chino Development Corporation and Chino Preserve Development Corporation, also known as Lewis Management Corp. Controlled. The merchant builders are Trumark and Century. This is a 114 single-family detached residential unit consisting of 2 developments, Heritage and Legacy. Now, as of November 15th, 2025, and we use that date because that's the date of the appraisal, of the 59 units for the Heritage development, 19 were individually owned by property owners, so they've been developed and sold. 18 are completed and owned by Century, 7 are under development, and 15 are lots. We'll talk about this later on when we talk about action for the preliminary official statement. There was a minor change to the preliminary official statement to clarify that the 15 lots are owned by what's called Century Land Bank. It's a practice common in the development industry which frees up Century's capital rather than tie it up in the 15 lots that aren't yet developed a land bank will own that and gives Century an option to exercise that. It doesn't change the development status, it doesn't change the absorption study or the success or the expectation of how this development is going to be rolled out and accepted by the community. It's just the ownership is slightly different. Any questions about that? It was just a development we found out from Century. We wanted to make it clear to the council that that's a change in the preliminary official statement that we're going to be talking about later.
When you say 18 are completed and owned by Century, are those going to be rentals, or are they going to sell later to individual homeowners?
The latter. So they are pending the distribution and sale to the public.
Okay.
Yeah. The intention of all of these 59 units and then the 55 we're about to talk about is to be sold to the public. We're just not at that state yet. We're at mid-development, if you will.
Okay.
Mid-absorption. So now we're going to move on to the legacy development, 14 individually owned. We have the same categories. 8 are completed and owned by TrueMark. 24 are under development, so they're not quite ready for sale. And 9 are lots. There's not a land bank arrangement for these units for TrueMark. Now, one of the things we did not have on the last financing is these developers come to you and ask for you to sell CFD bonds, and based upon the status of the development, we say, yeah, as your advisor, whether it's feasible. If it was completely undeveloped and it was raw dirt and it was just a dream of the developer, we'd say, hold off. This project is not as far along as the Fallon Crest was, the 2022-1, as based upon this information. Less than half of it is owned by the public. So we suggested to the city that the appraiser who did an appraisal would also do an absorption study. And what the absorption study looks at is, are the home prices reasonable for the current market? In a market of $1 million homes, are you charging 2? That would be alarming. That would say that's not feasible. How quickly will the homes sell? If it's going to take a number of years, that's a warning sign. If it's absorbed over a short period of time, that's more reassuring. And how long will it take for all of these homes ultimately to become owned by individuals? So BTI, who's the appraiser and did an absorption study, found that the home prices were priced appropriately. The buyers are likely to purchase them at a pace similar to other home developments in the area. And then the important one, it will take about 16 months from May 12th of 2025 to September 30 of 2026 for all 114 homes to be sold. This September 30th, this roughly corresponds to, we're selling the bonds in the middle of the year, and we have to get the bonds on the tax rolls in 26, 27. So we're going to fund the interest on the bonds between now until September 1st of 2026, which is right about September 30th. So if this absorption goes as planned, when we finally put this on the rolls and send it out to the property owners, it could be that 114 homes are owned by properties and the developers are out, which is not to say if it was instead of 114, it was 110 and 4 were owned by the developers, they wouldn't honor the obligation. I'm just saying the absorption study says these homes should be individually owned by September 30th. Any questions about that absorption? It's another person's view. We trust the developer. They've been a great citizen and in the community, and they do good work. Because of the development status, it's just an insurance, another opinion that we wanted.
So that's assuming that the bare lots are built by that time also.
Correct, and that's their plan, that they will be built. Yeah. Here's a picture of the overview. Sorry, we don't have the markings of the streets and everything, but that's the development status currently. And just the bond structure and financing overview. We're planning on selling currently $14,485,000 of bonds. It's a 30-year term. It's level debt service, which is to say it doesn't escalate over time. There's not an inflation factor, so it's level, which is a conservative assumption. And the principal payments are due from September 1, 2027 to 55. The bonds will go away in 2055, and just over time, there's a the principal is amortized. It's not a bullet payment where the full $14,485 is due September 1st of 2055. You make principal payments throughout the term of the loan. And that's what allows us to have level debt service. And the bonds are payable from special taxes levied on all property owners located within the district. The city is not morally or financially or legally obligated for any payments on the bonds if anything were to go south, or which it's not going to, but I'm saying there's no implied obligation of the city. You're just facilitating the issuance of the bonds. We have a fully funded cash reserve to ensure the timely payment on the bonds in the unlikely event there's a delinquency. This is a feature even in most bond issues. If for some reason something went bad, like when your personal savings, they say have a rainy day fund of 6 months or 12 months. This is sort of the rainy day fund equivalent. If something were to happen, you'd have a full year of that reserve to cover the debt service, and then you could foreclose, say, on a property if it was delinquent. I wanted to mention, as was the case with 2022-1, these bonds are non-rated, so they carry a higher interest rate, but still a competitive rate and one that the developer is very excited to be paying. What happens is that this is a high concentration of property ownership. There's only a few individuals. In order to get what they call investment grade rating, you like to have diversification. You like to have thousands of homes and wealthy individuals and in different industries and all that. You may recall on the PFA refund, when we did the refunding, those bonds had a AA- rating. The highest rating is AAA. They were highly rated, reflective of probably what the city would have a rating if they went out on their own. Well, what's the difference between that and this? Well, those bonds, I think, originally were sold in 2006 or 7, then they were refinanced. They have 20 years on them, so they're matured communities. So don't judge the bonds today. This is in its infancy, and eventually they will become diversified, and in the future, these become eligible for refinancing. Right now, they're non-rated because of their development status and the concentration of ownership. For legal and compliance considerations, the bonds are issued pursuant to the Mello-Roos Act. You are represented by a number of professionals, including bond counsel, who gives a legal opinion, a tax-exempt opinion, and does the preliminary official statement, all the legal documents you're looking at. I'm your municipal advisor. I have a fiduciary responsibility to the city. I work for you, and I help negotiate with the underwriter, is the last person who sells the bonds. That's Raymond James, and I make sure that they do a good job. And when they go to sell the bonds, they're going to make a proposal and they're going to show comparables. It's my job to say, well, that seems like a good rate, or could you do better? So that's a negotiation process. And you also have, as mentioned earlier, Heidi Sheppiet, the special tax consultant. She did the rate and method of apportionment, which is how the taxes are levied on the properties to collect the money sufficient to pay the bonds off. There's a continuing disclosure agreement to ensure timely communication with investors. The preliminary official statement, or a prospectus or offering document, that shows the district and the city as of today when the bonds are sold. But the bonds are outstanding for 30 years, so a lot can change, including that development and enhanced security. And so the continuing disclosure agreement is an agreement to periodically, annually, provide updated information on the status of the development. And there's certain events, if like there was a massive amount of delinquencies or a draw on the reserve, that's an event that would have to be reported. So, and Webb Financial, Municipal Finance, who's also your special tax consultant, works in the continuing disclosure space for you. All right, this is the rate and method, and it just spells out, and you can see that it's tied to basically the different properties and the square footage. So Zone 1 represents the heritage development. Zone 2 is legacy. So you'll notice for the land use, it's all residential property. The building square footage, there's different categories. The more square footage, the more the tax is. So a larger home should pay more than a smaller home. So that's how this rate and method works. And it's similar on Zone 2 for legacy. The building square footage demarcations are slightly different, but it's consistent to what you see in Zone 1. So this, and when property owners buy the property, this is disclosed to them, that in addition to local city taxes and that Prop 13 taxes, there's a CFD tax, and it's fully disclosed so that all owners know that they'll be receiving this bill as well as their property tax.
This is a yearly bill?
Correct. And like property taxes, so it goes out probably like in the beginning of the fiscal year. First installment's due in December, and the second is in April.
So if the home is less than 2,700 square feet, the yearly rate is $8,620?
Correct. I should mention.
Wow.
Yeah, that's just attributable to the CFD. But I should also mention that these homes are 1.1 to 1.3 million. I'm not diminishing 8.6, but I wanted to normalize it. I wanted to give you what the denominator. So 8,600 is obviously more if it's a $500,000 home versus a $1.1 million to $1.3 million. But that's right.
Okay.
Was there a follow-up question?
No.
Okay. The next 2 pages is just a list of the various improvements that was in the Mello-Roos report that was put together by Web Financial. And you'll just see the total the estimated unfunded eligible improvements, $53 million. Out of this bond issue, we're expecting to get about $13 million. So there's going to be a shortfall. It's not to say that you're obligated to, or the development's obligated to make the difference between the 13 and the 53, but as long as there's the CFDs in place and there's surplus tax revenues. What a surplus tax revenue is, you'll levy a little more than what's due on the debt service on the bonds. You'll have to pay administration, and there's a 110 coverage. That surplus annually will flow to the developer. And then the obligation to pay go is done after the CFD goes away. Maybe that's not quite right. Heidi, is it when the CFD goes away or 5 or 10 years after the bonds? The term of the tax? Do you know when that is? It's roughly coterminous with the bonds itself. Sorry for the quiz, Heidi. Debt service and financial sustainability. As we mentioned, they're secured by special taxes. The general fund, as I mentioned before, is not pledged to the repayment of the bonds. And the appraised value of the property is $98 million. So you have what's called a value to lien of 6.8 to 1. So the property as it currently stands, even though it's not fully developed, is almost 7 times the value of the bonds that you're selling. The higher the value to lien, the more secure that would be. You're borrowing less than the value is. And then we mentioned before that they're secured by a reserve fund, and also that you have a covenant to foreclose on properties if there's a certain amount of delinquencies.
Who creates that reserve fund?
You do. It's in the bond documents. There will be a reserve fund which is equal to maximum annual debt service. It's held by a fiscal agent, which is BNY, and it's held for the benefits of the property owner. And it can only be used to make up either any shortfall if there's special taxes come short. And if that doesn't happen, at the end, when we're in the last year of 2055, the reserve is liquidated and used to pay the last years of debt service. And during the 30-year life of the reserve, it'll be earned, it'll be invested in an interest-bearing account, and that interest will be used to defray the debt service costs to the property owners. So it's a security feature, but any economic benefit from it goes to the benefit of the investors.
And just to clarify, if I may, that fund is part of the bond proceeds. It's not any
Correct.
city funds or any other
Yes.
funding source.
Exactly. And which makes me think of the next question, like the cost of issuance. How is that? This is all self-contained, so there's no, the cost of my services and all the other people mentioned before, that's paid out of the bond issue. The funded interest I mentioned between now and September 1st of 2026, that comes from the bond issue. So there's a couple of sources. So when it's all said and done, there's no residual bills that the city is responsible for paying. Good point. Thank you. As far as the debt service, it's roughly $941,000 per year for 30 years. And over the life of the 30-year bond, the debt service is $28 million. So it's a payment ratio of under 2 to 1. And you want to have the lower the ratio, the better. And then sometimes you don't want it to be above 4. What that would imply is that you are backloading the debt service, or you had a really long term. You want to pay it off as quickly as possible. And so this debt ratio of under 2 is a very strong indicator that you're amortizing as quickly as you can. If you wanted a shorter term, you'd have to make it 20 years instead of 30, and you wouldn't get as much money for the project. So 30 is the standard in the industry.
So question for you. So some of our neighboring cities have done CFDs for 99 years for some of these homes. Is their annual payment significantly lower, or is it the same for that period of time?
I don't know enough to answer it. I know that it's in place as a source of funds to pay for citywide improvements. I don't believe that there's a drop-off when the bonds are paid off. So I don't know is the answer. I haven't seen them, but I'm aware that there are these 99 or 100-year CFDs, and that tax rate is in existence beyond the life of the bonds. And that extra money is used for large regional improvements.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, market conditions and investor considerations. The market has improved recently. I think you're aware that in September, October, the Fed lowered its borrowing rate by 25 basis points. That tends to trickle down to the Treasury. That's the Treasury market, trickles down to the municipal market. So we're expecting strong interest in the bonds. We mentioned the market absorption study. We think that will be, spoke to the underwriter about it. We were going to have it done regardless of what the underwriter thought, but as the insurance for the city and peace of mind. But this is a positive thing to help them market the bonds when investors are asking about the development status. And you can say an independent party did an absorption study, and we feel like this is going to be out in the next, by September 30 of 2026. So that's a good fact to be able to share. The TIC, the true interest costs of these bonds, are projected to be 4.96. I mentioned that in July we had the bonds for 22-1 approved, and this estimated rate, we've not sold the bonds, it's 36 basis points or 36/100% less than what was going on with Fallon Crest. And Fallon Crest had a higher value to lien. So right now these bonds will have a lower borrowing cost just because of the state of the market. Oops, did I do something wrong? That was a quick recovery. All right, here's the dates. The key dates, we had a due diligence call yesterday to get the preliminary official statement in good order. We're at the meeting with you. On Friday, we'll try to distribute the preliminary official statement. They'll sell the bonds. That's when the interest rate is set on December 4th. And then 2 weeks later, we'll close the bond issue. The bonds will be with investors, and you'll have this obligation. The CFD will have the obligation to pay back the bonds. So that's basically it. And here's the recommendation. There's a resolution. I don't know if we have the number 2025 and what the bonds approve is the preliminary official statement, the fiscal agent agreement, the bond purchase agreement, the continuing disclosure agreement, the absorption study, and the appraisal report, collectively the bond documents. And it authorizes the city manager to execute all necessary documents on behalf of the city. Are there any questions about the resolution or?
Kurt, you had a question? No? Any questions, comments? Okay, no, that's a lot of information.
I know, I'm sorry. I tried to keep it short, but And I did mention, just to make sure that the POS is going to reflect the change, that Century has a land bank for those 15 lots. So I just want to let you know that's a minor change in the POS that you'll be approving.
Okay. If there's no questions or problems, then I would entertain a motion in a second. Motion from Councilman Lucio, second from Mayor Pro Tem Burton. Please vote. Item passes unanimously. Number 15, adjustments in compensation for affected members of the City of Chino. Staff report this evening will be by our attorney, Fred Galante.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council, and those in attendance. Before you is the adoption of several resolutions that implement amendments to the compensation for the Chino Police Professional Employees Association, Chino City Hall Confidential Employee Association, Teamsters Local 1932 Professional Technical and Clerical Unit, Deputy Directors, Unrepresented Management, and Part-Time Employees. And there's also a resolution to approve the classification plans and compensation schedules, as well as an appropriation of $328,928 to the various funds listed on the agenda. This follows your last meeting and the discussions. The particular points that are required to be announced in public include the pay that is made to the unrepresented and the directors and management positions. So with this action, if approved by the council, you'd be authorizing a one-time non-pensionable retention pay for deputy directors, unrepresented management, and part-time employees. You'd be authorizing a 3% cost of living increase for deputy directors, unrepresented management, and part-time employees, and that would be effective the beginning of the pay period after the council approval, which would be November 24th. And finally, authorizing a 3% cost of living increase for deputy directors, unrepresented management, and part-time employees that would become effective July 1st of 2026. And the rest are the adjustments that are being provided to the bargaining units and reflected per the staff report. I'm happy to list any of that or provide further details, but with that, that concludes my report.
Okay, any comments or questions from council? Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the council on item number 15? Seeing none. Okay, we have a motion from Mayor Pro Tem Burton, second from Councilmember Comstock. Please vote. Item passes unanimously. Item number 16 is the subject ad hoc committees. We have been requested to establish temporary city ad hoc committees, and I'm going to ask our city manager, Linda Reich, to give us a report.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. As you know, we've got a few projects that are ongoing in the city of Chino, and from time to time, we like to establish an ad hoc committee, which is temporary, with 2 council members to help guide us through the process. So the first one that we'd like to establish is for the downtown revitalization. As you know, we talked about earlier, Mayor, that we do have a master plan, so we want to start having discussions about that. We'd like 2 council members on that one. The second one is information technology and training. As you know, we use a lot of technology in the city of Chino. Many of our applications are very old, so we want to have some input from the council as we start discussing our different applications that we use and the training that's required to make sure that our employees are appropriately using our different applications. So that's what we're looking for tonight, so I hope we'll get 2 for each of those committees.
Okay, and how often do you anticipate these committees to be meeting?
as needed at this point. So we'll start with an initial meeting, and then it'll be as needed.
Okay, and temporary, about how long? Couple years,
Until the
whatever?
project is done.
Okay. All right, is any council members want to volunteer for the downtown ad hoc committee?
Sure, I can jump in, Mayor.
Chris?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Chris is interested. Any other council members? And Kurt? Okay, there's your two there. Do we need to vote on this?
Yes.
Okay, well, let's vote on the first one, and this is the Downtown Ad Hoc Committee. Volunteering are Chris Flores and Kurt Burton. I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
I don't even know how to do the motion. It doesn't
We
light
can
up.
use the system, Mayor.
Pardon me?
We can use the system. I have movers and.
Okay, then we need to vote, please. Oh, okay, it changed. We have Councilmember Comstock made the motion and Councilmember Lucio made the second. Please vote. Okay, that passes unanimously. Volunteers for the IT and the training committee.
I'll volunteer for IT, Mayor.
I'll volunteer as well.
Okay,
I
we
went
have
through 2 or 3 IT transitions while working, so
it's a
skilled
lot
up.
of work.
It is.
Okay, we have Karen and Mark volunteering. We have a motion from Councilmember Flores, second from Mayor Pro Tem Burton. Please vote. And passes unanimously. There are your ad hoc committees.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So you will be in touch with the members
Yes, we will.
when they're needed. Okay. Next on the agenda is mayor and council reports. I'll give mine very quickly. Wednesday, November 5th, I attended the Omnitrans and SBCTA Board of Directors meeting. On the 6th, I and a whole bunch of members of staff toured the River Street Marketplace, and I can never remember the name of the farm. Linda?
Ecology Center?
Ecology Center. It just doesn't sound right to me. Absolutely phenomenal farm and phenomenal River Street Marketplace. We also were able to tour the San Juan Capistrano Council Chambers, which was phenomenal. It's in the Community Center building. It's a big room, and they have, like the dais here, but there would be a movable wall that comes across. So it's a great big room that can be used for anything. And then the wall is opened up for council meetings, and it's just absolutely phenomenal. So I understand that Councilmember Lucio and Mayor Pro Tem Burton are going to be going next. I think you'll really enjoy the tour, and I'm hoping that Chris and Karen, you guys will be able to go as well, because it is fantastic. And then on Friday the 7th, I attended the senior birthday celebration for November birthdays. Saturday, November 8th, Bear and I and Bob and Blazer attended the Bark Around Ayala Park, and Mayor Pro Tem Burton got to see Bear. He has 2 Belgian Malinois, and Bear makes the 2 little girls look like puppies. He's a big dog. So that was a lot of fun. It was very well attended. On Tuesday, the 11th, we all, well, not all, Councilmember Burton, you were not able to attend, but we attended the Veterans Day ceremony, which turned out very nice. You did a really good job emceeing, Chief. You always do a nice job. On the 13th, Thursday the 13th, I attended the Omnitrans Admin and Finance Committee and SBCTA Transit and Metro Valley Committees. And then today, prior to the council meeting, I was able to meet with our city manager and assistant city manager, and then we had closed session prior to the meeting. Mayor Pro Tem Burton, you have item number 17.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to request Community Support Fund dollars to go to the Chino Kiwanis Club.
Okay, we need a motion and a second, please. Motion from Councilmember Flores, second from Councilmember Comstock. Please vote. Item passed unanimously. Rest of your report.
Thank you very much. On the 5th, Councilmember Flores and I attended a meeting about the Ontario airport noise. within our community with our staff members. It's become an issue, and I think it's become an issue ever since the LA World Airport gave up their control of the airport to the city of Ontario, and they have allowed the routing of the airplanes to go over the city of Chino, whereas before they were banked out over Euclid Avenue, I believe, or they went straight out Mission Boulevard to where it didn't affect our residents. It's become very difficult with the new regime, I will call them, trying to communicate with them what our concerns are. And I'm trying to be politically correct right now, folks. It's very difficult to try to convey what our concerns are with our residents about having airplanes go out over the top of our city at 3 o'clock in the morning, and these airplanes aren't just regular airplanes, they're cargo airplanes, UPS, FedEx. So at 3 a.m., you can just imagine they're fully loaded when they take off, and when they bank out over the top of our city, it wakes up the whole east side of the city. I don't believe they're being very good neighbors.
Well, we had a legal agreement years ago that they would not travel directly over the city, but that agreement, it expired. And so now they legally can fly wherever they want to.
So, and I understand that. We did have an agreement with LA Airports when we tried to have a discussion with the airport and the city of Ontario. They cite safety issues by the FAA. However, there was never an issue before. Now there is, and we have tried to be good neighbors. I have been contacted several times by residents on the east side of the city, concerned about the noise, the safety issue, the jet fuel spray that goes out over the tops of their homes. There's just a variety of issues with this. We'd like to continue to have a dialogue, but it's very difficult at best.
Who helped us initially with that agreement was Congressman Lewis, and so Jerry Lewis. So you may need to get the assistance of Congress to get anything done.
Well, I'll get a hold of Congresswoman Torres and see if she can assist us.
Jerry Lewis was the one that helped us with the original agreement.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Mayor, very much. After that, I went to the Chino Valley Historical Society meeting. On the 8th, I also attended Bark Around the Park with my 2 Belgian Malinois females, Violet and Scarlet, my wife. And it was a great time, and they really liked Bear a lot. They wanted to take Bear home with them, and I told them no. Bear's a great, big, huge German Shepherd, and he'd be way too big for my yard. On the 10th, I had my one-on-one with the city manager. On the 12th, I attended the mayor's prayer breakfast. Then I went to Howard Cattle Elementary School, where they had a Veterans Day event that I attended and presented them with a certificate of recognition for having a Veterans Day event. And then to conclude the 12th, I attended the Youth Sports President's Dinner with all of our sporting leagues throughout the city. On the 13th, I attended the Watermaster Appropriative Pool Committee meeting with our director, Hajan Lee. On the 18th, I attended the ARC Animal Resource Center design meeting, and then closed session before this meeting. I also wanted to thank Bella. She's left, but I appreciated her coming up and introducing herself. These youngsters, up and coming now, those are the leaders of the future, and I appreciate seeing her come up, as well as the scouts being in the audience. Thank you to Bob Nigg. He's also left to come forward and give some information. And I'd also like to just remind everybody again about the Gobbler Gloves boxing on Sunday, the 23rd. If you're not doing anything, come on out, because you won't be disappointed. You'll really have a great time. And that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Are you going to MC that again?
I will be the MC.
Great. You do a good job.
Thank you.
Councilmember Comstock.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm just going to discuss three things today. I'd also like to compliment our staff for the Veterans Day event on November 11th. It was a very nice event. And Maritza, your husband did a great job as the keynote speaker that day. And of course, Chief, you always do a great job emceeing it. I'd also like to compliment the efforts of the Chino Police Department this week. I know you've had a difficult week with some very, very trying calls for service, including Deputy Nunez's funeral today, as well as just some other calls that happened this week. So our prayers are with you for that. But also compliment you on your retail theft operation as well. The other portion of our staff I'd like to compliment tonight, Mayor, is we've had a lot of rain over the past 3 or 4 days. And we would normally sit on the dais a few years ago and talk about flooding and lost roads and sometimes the inability to get into certain parts of our community. And a lot of the work that's been done by our staff as well as our leadership team in order for us to, I think, weather, for lack of better terms, no pun intended, heavy storms. Certainly didn't go unnoticed. In fact, I reached out to the city manager and said, hey, what's the state of our city? We didn't lose any roads, and that's just a testament to the hard work of our staff and the direction that the city is headed right now. Last thing I'd like to offer is my sympathy, Kurt, to you and your family. I know you lost your mother-in-law this past week, and Grace, and to your wife Birdie and your family. She was a true Chino pioneer, born in this community, lived this community her whole life. So I just want you to know that on behalf of the council in this community, it was a life well lived for those of us that had the opportunity to know her. Yeah, 98-year-old woman is just a great lady. Our sympathy to you, Kurt.
Thank you.
So if you need us or your community, lean into us during this time, and please let us know when our services are.
Thank you.
That concludes my report, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, we will be adjourning in her memory at the next meeting. We'll give your family an opportunity to be here for that.
Thank you very much.
Councilman Lucio.
I'm going to keep mine short. I also want to express my condolences to you, Kurt, and to your wife, Birdie, on the loss of her mother. I know she lived a great life, and she passed just the way anybody would want to pass. So I thank God for her, again, having that opportunity. But besides that, I also want to remind everybody that the holidays are coming. Because the holidays are here, suicide rates go up, and it's surprisingly, we lost an officer last year, and he died because he couldn't go back to work. He got injured, couldn't go back to work, and he was on pain medication. He took his life. So I always worry about just different people. Sometimes it's people you never would think of, but because of an injury or something like that, these people get depressed, especially during Christmas time, especially during holidays. So make sure you keep an eye on everybody that you know, everybody that you care about. If for some reason they start pulling back or pulling away, make sure that you're there for them, especially during these times. I also want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and that there's going to be 2 food giveaways this weekend. So if you have time and you want to volunteer, please make sure that you go out there and volunteer. We're going to have one here at the Senior Center starting at 7 o'clock in the morning. That's going to be in combination with the City of Chino, Love Like Joe Foundation, and All American Car Wash. So if you can come in and help volunteer for that, we'd really appreciate it. Also, there'll be another one, the Food for Life Ministry distribution, that's also taking place at the Chino Valley Adult School. That starts at 9 o'clock in the morning. So if you got time, you got some volunteer in you for the holidays to help out those that in need. Are always looking for volunteers. That's all I have. Thank you.
Councilman Flores.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'll keep mine short as well. On the 7th of November, I attended the Learning Experience Community Helpers Lesson, and I had the opportunity to teach to 3 to 5-year-olds, and that was quite the experience because I've never dealt with 3 to 5 year olds. And Mayor, I had my collared shirt on and I walked in there with my backpack and books ready to read to them, and they wanted no part of that. I ended up just singing the Itsy Bitsy Spider with them for about 15 minutes, so that was pretty cool. I'm happy to experience that. I want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody as well. And following up with what Councilmember Lucio mentioned, there are definitely 2 giveaways this Saturday. As a community member, as a volunteer, or someone in need of food and groceries, if you happen to miss those 2 because you're not in town or whatever the case may be. There's also another giveaway on Wednesday here at the parking lot through Isaiah's Rock, and no registration required. Just feel free to show up, and God provides. So thank you for that. And to the Burton family, just want to send my condolences as well publicly, and I definitely keep you and your family in my prayers right now.
Thank you.
City Manager Reich.
No report tonight, Mayor.
City Attorney Galante.
No report either. Thank you.
Chief of Police Menson.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. Just a couple things. So last month, we had the Pink Patch fundraiser where we sold pink patches and T-shirts. We raised over $7,500 that we donated to Loma Linda Cancer Care. So that was a really good fundraising thing. And then we, obviously, very busy time of the year when it comes to community outreach. And Saturday, November 22nd, we have our first Stuff the Sleigh event that's going to be hosted at Painted Dough. It's Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. And then just lastly, as we approach the holiday season and where we obviously shopping really picks up, we will have our retail theft team that'll be out there along with members from our Criminal Investigations Bureau. We will have all of our different technology, our cameras, our LPRs will all be deployed. And really the message is if you're gonna come to Chino and commit a theft, that we will identify you, track you down, and arrest you. And now with Proposition 36 in effect, that if you've done this multiple times, you will be booked at West Valley Detention Center on a felony. And so you'll spend a few days in jail. So we encourage people, obviously, be aware of your surroundings, keep your car locked. And if something doesn't look right, by all means, call us and we will come and respond. That concludes my report unless you have any questions for me.
Thank you. Any questions, comments? Thank you very much. Director, of course, Hey Jen has a director's report. Energizer Bunny.
Good evening, Mayor. And just 2 quick updates. We had several rainy days a couple of days. I wanted to give a quick update. Thank you for the compliment. Our staff was really ready to respond to any emergency that may arise, and so they deployed all the traffic barricades for prone areas that are flood-prone areas. San Antonio is one, and then obviously Pine Avenue by the golf course. So we didn't have any significant incidents other than just 2 normal areas. And we have another rainstorm coming Thursday and Friday, so all 3 fire stations are restocked for sand, just in case residents will need to bag some sand again. So yes, we're ready, and our crew does a wonderful job. And just one more I want to highlight among the item that council had approved, item number 12. I just want to highlight the fact that our staff did a fantastic job securing additional $15 million for our State Street water project. So that's not a loan, it's actually a grant. So we don't have to pay that back. So we got total of $25 million for the project. And I just want to make sure our community is made aware that that comes straight from the fact that we don't have to pay back, and we could reduce our liability for what we're going to have to charge our customers. So that's a fantastic news, and I want to commend our staff for securing that.
Thank you for bringing that up, hey Jen. Chief Williams. You have to come up to the lectern anyway. Doggone it.
What's above is the lip.
You don't get to just sit there.
No, ma'am, I have no report tonight, but I'm happy to answer any questions that you may
Any
have.
questions for the chief?
Did you lose your razor?
Did you lose your razor?
I did.
I did. That's terrible.
It's November.
It's November.
It's in the spirit of supporting cancer awareness, sir.
Outstanding. I appreciate that.
Very good. Thank you, Chief. Okay, with that, we will adjourn to our next regular meeting that will be held on Tuesday, December 2nd. with closed session starting no earlier than 4. With that, we are adjourned.